This is Brother Josh. I'm gonna do a video for you on how to remove and replace the alternator on a 2008 XC90 Volvo, V-O-L-V-O, Volvo. The joy and the fun of doing this job is to make sure that you don't break anything. Why? It's because Volvo has plastics and you also have connectors, and you all have these wires that come up to the manifold that you need to carefully take your time to remove them. A must observant is this here, that connector there. You might need to replace it or take caution that you don't break it whilst you're removing it. If you know you're not gonna get it for that day, then it will be worth it taking this hose from the overflow tank. Hallelujah. And then we go on to removing the intake manifold. There are two bolts right at the bottom there. Two bolts, they are 8 millimeters. You're gonna get to them from the subframe. You go from the front of the subframe, you can get to those two bolts. Two. Another thing that you're gonna have to remove is this brother here. The pipe goes inside another pipe, this one here. You see that? Okay, you need to remove it from the bottom there and from the top. In order for you to get this one out here, there are two clamps that hold a bracket that hold this AC line here. It's on the manifold. Okay, you're gonna need a small toxie to remove them. Okay, now you might find yourself needing to use a short ratchet to take that out. Okay, once that is out, then you have at least room to move this AC line out of your way. You're not gonna go very far with it, but you can just move a little bit out of your way. Okay, then the next thing you're gonna find is I found it easy to remove this hose here. This is a vacuum hose. You just have to squeeze the outside of it and boom, you're out. Okay, and this other electrical connector, it's got that push in clip. You just push it and pull it out. And the others, these can be a little bit hard to remove. Okay, but what I found to be very helpful was I just used a screwdriver to push this in whilst you are pulling with the other hand. You try and see if you can fit your two hands in to pull those out. And then when you are done, you don't forget this piece here. Don't forget these here. They go on the bottom of your manifold. Okay, don't forget them. You need to replace them. Okay, and pick them up. Okay, and then now your diagnostics first before you pull out the alternator is spin this here. This here. If you see it freely spinning like that, most likely the bolt in the center is loose. Okay, and for you to fix that bolt there, you're gonna have to pull out the 4 bolts that hold your alternator. Take out the 4 bolts that hold your alternator and then slide your alternator out. When you do that, it is you should be able to buy some Loctite from your local store, and depending with what kind of strength you want on your Loctite, there's blue and red. Choose one of those two, and you need to put that Loctite on the bolt so that it doesn't come loose from vibrations. There is also an updated bolt. If there is going to be one call your dealership, they might give you an updated bolt. If there is no requirement of that, then you may need to put Loctite on it. Or if you can't get to Loctite, then use a spring washer. A spring washer is a locking device. Okay, it's recommended as a locking device. So a spring washer can lock any bolt from getting loose. And when you are putting back, just make sure before you put back, look into the intake manifold of your engine to make sure nothing dropped in there. Okay, just make sure nothing dropped in there. And if you want, that could be the best time to clean your intake manifold whilst it's outside. You may need to clean it out. It will help you a lot. By the time you put it back, You will not need to ever remove it again for cleaning purposes. Again, this is Brother Josh, and for me, if it is possible, rather than just to do the bolt, maybe it's time for you to change your alternator. You can get that alternator from your local parts store or online. They are reasonably cheap. I don't know what cheap is, but sometimes it is affordable. Again, this Brother Josh, and enjoy driving your Volvo Sweden.